Today I'll be showing you how to crochet an ear warmer using the Alpine stitch. So grab your supplies and let's get started. For supplies, you'll need a lightweight wool blend yarn and a 4mm hook. There are links to the exact supplies in the description below. I'll be showing you the adult size. If you'd like the other sizes, check out the PDF pattern below. To start, chain 22. Yarn over slip stitch in the second, chain from hook. To yarn over slip stitch, we'll yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, 3 loops on our hook, and pinch that new loop we made and pull through the first 2. Yarn over slip stitch in the next 4 chains. It's similar to half double crochet, except for you don't yarn over a second time. You're just pulling that new loop through the existing 2. You should have a total of 5 yarn over slip stitches. Now we'll double crochet in the next 11 chains. Double crochet, you'll yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Check out the tutorial above if this is a new stitch to you. You should have 5 remaining chains. We're going to yarn over slip stitch in the next 5 chains. Row 1 should look something like this. Quick tip, you can use stitch markers to mark those yarn over slip stitches on either end of your project, so you don't have to count every time. So I place these stitch markers in the 5th yarn over slip stitch of the first set and the 1st yarn over slip stitch of the second set. And that way I can just crochet a little bit easier without having to count constantly. For row 2, we'll chain 1 and turn. Now that we have our stitch markers, this will make it easy, so we'll yarn over slip stitch 5 or to your first stitch marker. Now for this entire pattern, we'll be working into the back loops only of our slip stitches. So you'll want to turn your work upwards so you can see it from that angle. It's a bit easier to see that back loop. When you reach your stitch marker, you can go ahead and remove it. Do your yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only. And then place your stitch marker right back before you forget. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 11 stitches. The single crochet side of your work is always going to be the wrong side, so keep that in mind for later on in the pattern. We're going to go ahead and single crochet until we meet the next stitch marker. Once you get to your second stitch marker, we'll take that out. We will yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only and put our stitch marker right back, and we'll yarn over slip stitch to the end of the row. To start row 3, we'll chain 1 and turn. Yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only of the next 5 stitches. Now we'll start our Alpine stitch pattern. The first stitch will be a double crochet. Now we're going to find the second double crochet of the first row we created and do a front post double crochet. So we'll yarn over, place our hook behind that double crochet, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now you don't want to work into the stitch right behind it, so we'll do a traditional double crochet in the next stitch and repeat this pattern. So we'll front post double crochet. We'll skip one, right? And then we'll go into the next one and do our front post double crochet. And then we will do a traditional double crochet in the next stitch of the top row. You're going to do this all the way till you meet the next stitch marker. The last stitch before you start your yarn over slip stitches should be a traditional double crochet. If you're on a front post double crochet, you've lost count somewhere. Yarn over slip stitch in the last 5 stitches. For row 4, we'll chain 1 and turn. And we'll repeat row 2. So start with 5 yarn over slip stitches, 11 single crochet, and then 5 more yarn over slip stitches. Row 5, we'll chain 1 and turn. Yarn over slip stitch in the next 5 stitches. And now we'll work in the opposite pattern. So we'll do a front post double crochet first, and then a regular double crochet in the next stitch of the top row. Continue this pattern all the way across until you get to your next stitch marker. Something to keep in mind is that your front post double crochets will be between the front post double crochets of the previous row of Alpine stitch, and your double crochets will be directly on top of the front post double crochets from the previous row. Your last stitch before the stitch marker should be a front post double crochet. Yarn over slip stitch in the last 5 stitches. The remainder of the pattern is going to be a repeat of rows 2 through 5. So you'll chain 1 and turn at the beginning of each row, and you'll alternate doing those single crochet sides and the Alpine stitch sides. Once you've got your 90 rows, we'll do a quick check on the length. It should be about 18 inches stretched out. You want it to fit nice and snug. And you'll want to tie off and leave about a 12-inch tail for sewing. You'll need a large sewing needle, and we'll fold the right sides together so it should look like it's inside out. And we'll connect the ends with a whip stitch. To do a whip stitch, you'll insert your hook on the same side every time, creating loops over the top. So I'll insert my needle here, and you'll see a loop, and then insert again on the same side, just slightly over, and I'll keep doing this all the way across, making sure that it's nice and secure. Once your sides are sewn together, we'll weave in the ends to make sure that nothing pops out after we wash it. You'll also want to weave in the end from the beginning of the pattern as well. Lastly, you'll turn it right side out and you're ready to go. Be sure to check out my other crochet tutorials on my channel. Until next time, happy crocheting!